Okay, hi everyone, and welcome. We're gonna wait, we'll get started in just a minute. We're just gonna make sure everyone gets a chance to come in and settle down. This is our Holiday Harmony Studio series, and Jill and I are just so happy to be here and to host you all and just to kind of remind us of the importance of checking in with ourselves during this busy time of year. Okay, so since our session is short and sweet, we will go ahead and get started. So what I'm gonna invite you to do is just take a few gentle breaths, just breathing in and out the nose. And we're gonna start to rub the palms together. So you want to press the palms in toward each other and you rub, you kind of use some pressure and then some speed. And so when you use some pressure and you use some speed, you're going to start to feel some warmth developing in the palms. And so just kind of keep that going. You want to get the palms nice and warm. And from here, we're going to come into rest your eyes. So for rest your eyes, when you're ready, you just take the base of the palms, put it at the bottom of the eyes, and then cover the eyes with your hands. As you let the warmth of the hands soak into the eye area, just connect with your breathing. Underneath your hands, your eyes are closed, and you're allowing the outer edges of the eyes to soften. So just softening the outer edges of the eye, that little crease in the outer crease, just letting that soften. And just feeling the breath come in and out the nose. As we rest here, just noticing how you're holding your body. You might be kind of leaning forward toward the screen, which is normal, but let's allow ourselves to relax back. Make any adjustments that you would like to make in your posture. Let's take 2 more breaths here, breathing in and out. In and out. And from here, releasing the hands from the eye area. And when you're ready, nice and slow, letting the eyes open. And checking in. Okay, from here, just gonna do some gentle stretches for the neck. So I'm gonna invite you to just let one ear drop toward the same side shoulder, right? So for me right now, you can mirror me, so it would be your left ear dropping toward your left shoulder. And keep that gentle breath coming in and out the nose. And what we're looking for here is just connecting, right? So we're just connecting with the neck. We're noticing a gentle stretch. And we're not like being really gung-ho about this. Okay, so the goal is not to overdo. You're just getting a gentle stretch. And then inhale, bring the head back up to center. Take a breath in and out. And on your exhale, again, just gently letting that other ear, so now it's your right ear, drop toward the right shoulder. And if it's, if I'm saying the opposite one, just do whichever one you didn't do. Okay. And again, just some gentle breaths. And you're feeling what's happening in your neck area, and you're not overdoing it. Just inviting a little bit of movement. And then inhaling. The head comes back up to center. And let's just take a moment to look around your space. So you want to turn your head to one side. Just taking in the room around you. And then come back to center, nice and slow. And turn your head to the other side. Again, just taking in the space. Inhale to come back to center. Exhale here. Lift the chin and bring your gaze up. Bring the gaze back to center. And gently tuck the chin. And we're gonna just stay here, stay in this posture for a couple of breaths. Just noticing the back of the neck. Noticing if there's any tension there. And again, we're not overdoing it. If you're uncomfortable, lift out a little. You just want to feel a gentle stretch. Just bringing our awareness into the neck. And just inhale to lift the chin. And exhale there. So we're just noticing what happens when we start to pay attention, right? Because when we go through our normal, ordinary day, we're not paying attention to every aspect of our body. So it's great to take these pauses, bring some awareness and attention, and then do some gentle movement to help release any of the stress that's accumulated in some of these points. From here, we're going to come into cat-cow. Now, I know we're all joining from different setups at home or at the office. So you can do cat-cow in the chair, and you can also do cat-cow on the floor. So I'm going to model it in the chair, and I'm just going to angle a little sideways so you can see. So we want to interlace the fingers like this and press the palms away. And if this for any reason doesn't feel comfortable on your wrists, you can always do cat-cow, just hands on the knees, because really what we're after is some spinal movement. But if this is good, you interlace, you press the palms away. And then with the inhale, the palms come up, the gaze comes up, shoulders slide down. With the exhale, tuck the belly and round the spine. Inhale, chest up, chin up, gaze up. Exhale, round, pressing the palms away, bringing the gaze down. Let's do two more. Inhale, come up. And exhale to round. Inhale, come up. And exhale, round. Inhale, come back to center and release the hands. Now we're going to do that one more time. If you're working in the chair, I'm going to encourage you to interlace the fingers, but do it the opposite way this time. There's always one way that we prefer, and it's nice to encourage our bodies to kind of get out of their habits and patterns. So interlace the opposite way, and you can keep going in the chair. And if you are going to use the floor, I'm going to do the floor this time. My chair off to the side. So I'm coming into hands and knees. Fingers spread nice and wide, and the palms press down. Exhale, tailbone tucks, chin tucks, spine rounds. Inhale, belly drops down, chest forward, gaze lifts. Exhale to round. Inhale, belly drops, chest forward, gaze up. Let's take 3 more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, come back to neutral spine. Now from here, we're going to come into downward facing dog. Again, if you're working with a chair or a desk or a wall, you can do down dog in any of those ways. You just want to make sure if you're using the chair to support your hands, make sure that chair is on a stable and unmoving surface, okay? You don't want to push the chair and slide. Otherwise, if you're on the floor, the hands spread out, the fingers spread out, palms are down, toes tucked under, and you're just gonna lift the hips up and press back into the posture. Keep the breath moving, breathing in and out the nose. Let's do 3 more breaths, breathing in and out. 1, in and out. That's 2, in and out. That's 3. So from here, gently let your knees come down. And from here, we're going to move into a lunge. So again, there's a couple of different ways to enter the lunge. If you're already standing, it's very easy to step back. We're going to come, if you're on the floor, I'll show you how. And then if you're standing, you can just step back and come into the pose. So from the floor, if you want a little more support, you can just step 1 foot forward. The knee is over the ankle. This back knee can stay down. If that back knee needs a little extra support, you can take a blanket and just tuck it underneath. And you can hang out right here. The arms come up. We're getting a nice stretch on the front of the opposite hip. But if you would like to lift into the lunge, you can just lift that back knee up. Toes are tucked under, the heel is off of the mat, and the arms come up. So we're in a nice stable lunge. The knee is above the ankle. And we're just getting a nice stretch in that hip flexor. And getting a little activity in the legs. Because again, if we're sitting during the day, if we're doing a lot of desk work, just getting a little blood flowing into those legs is nice. Couple breaths here. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a choice. If you want to just take a break between sides, that's fine. And otherwise, maybe we'll do down dog. So you can bring your hands down and just step back to downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here. Breathing in and out. In and out. And now we're going to come onto the second side. So again, you can bring the knee down and just step the foot forward. You can keep the knee on the ground, the back knee down. That's the most supported version. The arms can stretch up. Or you can tuck your toes under, lift up, and reach the arms up. So however you got here, we're in the lunge. The knee is above the ankle. And we're doing our breathing. And again, we're just getting a little energy into the legs. Stretching out that hip flexor. And from here, when you're ready, you might need to take like small incremental steps. So make sure you feel safe and steady however you want to get out of it. If you feel like you can just take a step and come forward. So from here, we're in our mountain pose. And our feet are going to be about as wide apart as the hips. So let's pause in mountain. Feel the feet on the mat or on the floor. Notice how your body feels after having done a little bit of active movement. And from here, we're going to come into a gentle forward bend. So I'm going to invite you to grab opposite elbows. Soften your knees a little bit so the knees can be a little bit bent. And then slowly start to let the body release down. And your head is, I'm going to stay up just to tell you because sometimes my voice doesn't carry well if I'm facing back. So your head is going to drop all the way down and you're just going to let the back of the neck relax. Okay, let's do it together. Staying here for a few breaths. Just letting the head be heavy. And when you're ready, you can slowly start to roll up to standing. And just take a couple breaths here. Checking in with your body. And from here, we're going to come into our rest. So I'm going to give you a choice. If you have the space and you'd like to lie down on the ground, on a mat, on the floor, whatever, for rest, that is a wonderful option. Or you can rest in your chair. So finding an option that works best for you. I'll model floor rest, which is pretty simple. You're just lying down. In the chair, you would just let your body relax, okay? You don't have to sit up tall. You don't have to try to do anything special. Let the chair support you, because when we rest, we feel supported. So when you lie down, just making sure your body feels comfortable. There are times the low back can be, that's a typical place that folks don't feel great. when they're lying down. So if that is you right now, you can bend your knees, bring your feet out a little wide, and let the knees drop toward each other, and that will support you. So whatever position you find, just letting the eyes close if that feels safe and comfortable for you. And just really letting yourself be supported. So whatever your body is in contact with, whether that's the chair, whether that's the floor, just whatever part of your body is in contact, allowing that area to feel supported. When we feel that support, and when we receive that support, we can release. So if you have extra time and you would like to stay in this supported rest, I support you in that and I encourage you to do that. And if you are ready to come out, I'll guide you out of the rest. So if you're on the floor or in the chair, just begin to deepen your breath. You like to invite a little movement into your fingers and toes, maybe circling out the wrists or the ankles, you can do that. And then if you're on the floor, letting the knees come up toward the chest, give a little squeeze. Everyone can open their eyes and make your way to seated. So coming into any comfortable sitting position, just taking a breath or two. And just noticing how you feel. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this was helpful and supportive for you. And Jill will be leading a session tomorrow, and I will be back on Wednesday.